All right, so today is February 9th, 2020. Taz and B Grimes interviewing Adam Tonachella. Did I say that right?
Tonachella, that's right.
All right, man. So real quick, let's get it started. If everyone's ready. Where are you from and where are you currently at, man?
I'm from Northern California. The city I'm in right now is Rohnert Park. I just moved here from Petaluma like a couple weeks ago. I grew up in Petaluma, but the biggest city that's close to us is Santa Rosa, California. So
you've been in California your whole life then, right? Northern California?
Northern California my whole life. Yeah, I lived in San Francisco for a little bit, Daly City, Santa Rosa, but always here in Northern California.
And what made you get into music, man?
I've always been into different types of music. You know, when I was growing up as a kid, it was a lot of gangster rap on the West Coast in the 90s. And then I got into raving real heavy and got into that scene with the electronic music for a while. And then, my life kind of got mixed up in drugs and alcohol and getting into the system and stuff. And eventually I got to a point where I had to go and get clean. And when I got clean, I needed to find a new hobby to fill my time. And that's when I told my wife, I'm going to go buy a laptop. I'm going to get into music, and it started with a laptop and it's grown and it's become equipment and it's become a hobby and it's starting to be me working with other artists too. So it's starting to take that turn right now.
So why, when all said and done, like why did you choose hip hop as like the genre to focus on?
Hip hop's just always been it's been the one that I've felt. It's been the realest to me. A lot of other things that have come and gone have felt like fads and trends, but the voice of the hip hop to me has always just been what's going on in society and what's real and what the other half of the world is experiencing, and I just feel there's a lot more truth there and a lot more relevance there. And to be honest, I just could never get into like, metal and alternative and stuff like that. I feel there's a lot of relevance there too, but I couldn't feel the music. I couldn't feel the scene.
So like hip hop helped you get through a lot of hard times, right? Basically.
Definitely has. Yeah, definitely has.
So what were some of those influences, man? Like some of the most influential?
Like I said, when I was younger, out here, if you said you listened to hip hop, it kind of just meant that you listened to gangster rap. We grew up listening to E40, Be Legit, Too Short, Mac Dre, artists like that, a lot of Vallejo artists, Mac Mall. And then, I got involved with my wife and she was more into the hip hop side of music. And she introduced me to some of the artists that are like on Rhymesayers, like Brother Ali and Slug, and it's just kind of gone from there. But I've always tried to keep up on a lot of different genres and a lot of different artists. And just kind of keep aware of what's going on with different music all the time.
Are you into sampling, or would you consider yourself a sample-based producer, or?
No, right now that's something that I want to grow and learn from people in HHP. I have not done a lot of sample-based production. I've done a lot of composition, a lot of writing. When I was in high school, I was involved in high school band. I know the basics of music theory and all that. And the tracks that I put together have been, all original composition, using digital instruments or whatever, but all the stuff that you hear from me, I wrote.
Yeah, that's dope. I could probably learn something from you, man. But what's your DAW of choice, and how did you find that one, and how did that become to be like your tool, I guess?
Right now, I'm working in Ableton 10, the standard edition, which is the middle of the road package. It's not the suite, but it's not the intro. I actually, the first keyboard I bought was an Axiom Air Mini 32. It was a little $100 MIDI controller, and it came with a free version of Ableton 9. And so I slowly learned that. And then when the 10 upgrade came out, I was feeling it. But, you know, with the light version, they limit you to 8 tracks or 16 tracks or something like that you can use. And I had to jump to the upgrade one time so I could get more tracks going on. And I've just spent countless hours digging around in Ableton trying to learn it. That program is a beast, man.
Yeah, I had that same keyboard. That was my first MIDI keyboard as well. And did you have the same problem where, like, I had a problem with I had a hard time registering the actual device a lot of times with the cord. Like the cable was like all fucked up. You know what I'm talking about? Or
No, I never had any problems with it, but I have heard of that. I have heard that device had problems.
Yeah, so I was like so happy when I got you know, something new, man. But because I had that for a while, but I just kind of dealt with it. Depending on my bad. This isn't my interview, man. So, hey, but yeah, man. So yeah, that's pretty. So I guess, hey, I'll pass it on to Taz now, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's up? What's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Appreciate that. And so, yeah, I just want to know basically like how would you describe yourself as a producer? And if you had your choice of any artist, you know, underground or mainstream to spit to one of your beats, like who would you choose and why?
You know, to be honest, I started out when I was younger. I was rapping a lot. I was writing and I was spitting bars and everything. And then as I've gotten older and kind of stepped away from the darker side of my life is when I got more into producing. And I'd say I'm definitely still learning. You know, if I could have any artist, any underground artist that I could work with right now, I'd probably pick Analyst out of Fresno. I think he's on fire right now, and that what he's doing is dope. And you know, a lot of his content is relevant, and it's not just the same bullshit that you hear over and over. And lyrically, he's pretty dope. But you know, I'm definitely still learning. I don't feel like I've 100% come into my style, or like I can just sit down and bang out a beat. You know, it takes me time, and I have to focus on it, and I still need to learn a lot. But I try to keep true to my West Coast roots. You know, you guys have probably heard a couple of my tracks. I know there's a lot of East Coast heads in the HHP, but I try to stay true to the West Coast.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm in Seattle, so I'm not too far from you, you know?
Right on.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you also like grew up kind of like writing and doing, you know, rhymes and stuff like that. So then as an artist, how would you describe your style as an artist? And if you could collab with anybody in the world, who would that be?
Oh, wow. Well, when I describe myself as an artist, I try to carry some intelligence in what I spit. You know, I try to use a little bit larger words sometimes and keep it quick. I don't know about a definite style there, but I always have stepped away from the stereotypical side of hip hop where people are talking about doing dope or having girls or having money. Like you won't hear me spitting that. You'll hear me spitting more real life stuff. And if I could collab with anybody, shit, I really don't even know where to start with that right now. I have an artist that's coming out here. He's not coming out here specifically to see me, but there's an artist called Night Owl. He's out of St. Louis, and he's going to be in the Bay Area for a little bit, and he's going to swing up here to my house, and we're going to try to put together a track. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, all right, that's dope, and that kind of brings me into my next question, which was gonna ask, you know, basically, do you have like any upcoming or current projects that we should be checking for?
You know, I'm just now rounding that corner in music for the first time. It's kind of an exciting time for me. I'm working with a local artist right now. His name is Sandchild. He's from Santa Rosa area as well. We're working on a track right now. I'm waiting on him to get me some final copies of that. And like I said, I'm going to be working with Night Owl out of St. Louis. And these are all new doors opening for me right now. And I'm actually pretty excited. It's been a hobby It's been me in the garage messing around. And now, you know, I got a call from this guy the other day saying, hey, can I use one of your beats? And it was like, it was kind of game changing, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely dig that. Well, congratulations on taking that next step. It definitely is exciting. And so we definitely, would be interested in, seeing what you come up with and some of your upcoming projects. In the meantime, how can people hear like some of your current work, or how can they follow you on social media?
Right now, the easiest way to access music is adamtonachella.com. I went and dropped for the website. It's a sales page for my BeatStars beats. I'm on SoundCloud, Adam Tonachella. I'm on YouTube. I don't know the long link that's on there, but I have links on my other social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, and I've always just kept all of those social medias with just my name, Adam Tonachella, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I think that's good though. I don't understand why like some artists or producers or whoever, why they have like 5, 10, 15, 20 different names. Like people should be able to, find you. You Google your one name and everything pops up. So that's good to
Right.
know. And and we'll definitely, put your website information in the interview and everything so people can check you out for sure.
Thank you.
It's Yeah, you're welcome, no doubt. If you could tell our listeners anything about you, like what would you want them to know? Like what is your message to the world?
When I was younger, I looked at hip hop kind of in the wrong light, and I fell for a lot of the smoke and mirrors, and I thought that selling dope was cool and running around and being tough and all this was all that, until it turned into a prison term, and then it wasn't really cool anymore. And I feel like as one of the older cats that's been around for a while, and some of these people, we got an obligation to steer our kids in a little better direction,
Yeah.
and running around and glamorizing drug abuse and glamorizing violence, like that's not where it's at, man. And before you know it, you end up in over your head. And I feel like, if we're going to carry a message to a large group of people, that we got to do something a little more positive with it and a little more realistic than putting people on track to end up locked up or dead.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely, respect that. It's like people, kind of glorify the wrong things, but then they don't really, show people the consequences all the time, or they even try to glorify that part of it. So it's good to, at least try to do something positive, especially, since you've been through some things yourself. You kind of have, a story to tell, almost like a testimony. You feel me?
And when you dig a little deeper, half of these cats that are talking about it don't even really live it anyway. So they're just watching somebody else fall and
Exactly.
profiting off of it, and they're not even really about that life anyway.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a whole different topic. We might have to bring you back and,
Hit me up. Interview number two
and
is
kind of
coming up.
talk about because we can definitely dig deep into something like that. So, I
For
definitely
sure.
respect where you're coming from. And, as far as, hip hop prodigies, like why did you become a member of HHP and why do you continue to support the movement?
I you know I spent some time scrolling through social media promoting my stuff or whatever, and I don't remember exactly what line it was that I read or whatever, but that I was scrolling through, I saw something, and it was like, it just seemed real to me. Whatever the words were that I read was like, that seems like it's keeping it real. And I clicked, and I was curious, and I know it's hard working as a solo person in the industry or with music in general to get anything off the ground or to get anywhere because there's so much competition. And the point that I'm at, I was looking for some help, and I'm willing to help people. I'm willing to throw beats out there. And I think the whole concept of being international and trying to do something positive, it's like it was a breath of fresh air to see that.
Yeah, that's definitely good to hear. That's a
Oh,
lot of the reasons why I joined as well. It was like something about that energy when I first seen that first video. It just kind of brought me, to the family, which I'm glad I did. And, we're definitely happy to have you here as well, for sure.
most def.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. So is there like anything else that you would like to touch bases on that we haven't talked about already? Do you have any last words or perhaps any shout outs to anybody?
No, I think you guys covered everything pretty well. Thank you for your time, and I think we're gonna do big things over this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, man, would you be interested in coming back for another interview another time? Maybe digging
For
like
sure, man.
getting a little more personal, or
Yeah, anytime, man.
All right, that's dope. All right, cool. Taz, you have anything?
Cool. No, I'm good, but thank you so much for your time today. And we'll see you in the collective.
Hey, last
All right,
question
man.
though. Pac or Biggie, man?
Yeah. Oh, come on, man.
I know Pac. All right.
You went to Santa Rosa High.
We gotta ask everybody the cliche question. All right, babe. We'll see you on the Telegram,
All
man.
right,
Thanks again for your time, man. Peace.
All right, man.